Hi there, I'm Issy, and today's episode of Out and About is about the Voice of Hind Rajab.
انك انت تغطيه وما تحاول ما تنزفيش، يعني حاولي انك تكرجه.
تمام، السيارة جاية.
الو طوارئ الهلال الاحمر رام الله الضفه الغربيه، عمر معك تفضل. الو
Palestine, rest in peace to the women and children in paradise. Palestine, they cut off the water, food, but we never see spirit like. Palestine, thousands under the rubber still trying to find Madeline. Palestine, God promised the land, so we know one day we'll free Palestine. Terrorists, told me who's getting terrorized. Anyone saying it's justified, what a lie, little kids dying and petrified. Terrorists, told me who's getting terrorized. Anyone saying it's justified, what a lie, little kids dying and petrified.
My name is Khalid Vauda. I'm from Social Intifada. We are very honored and proud to be hosting the official screenings of the Voice of Hind Rajab throughout South Africa over a 2-week period. We've had 5 screenings in Johannesburg. We are currently in Durban. It's absolutely a pleasure to be in Durban. We're here for a screening this evening, and then we've got 5 screenings in Cape Town. For anybody who is not aware, and I'd be very surprised if somebody is not aware who Hind Rajab is. This was a 5-year-old child who was brutally massacred by the Israeli occupation forces on the 29th of January 2024 in a 6-hour ordeal. I would not want to give away too much of the film, but I do want people to watch the film and to understand the story of Hind Rajab, because Hind symbolizes everything that is wrong with this despicable occupation and everything that the children in occupied Palestine face at the hands of this savage, demonic military force that is just plundering and destroying resources in the Middle East and uprooting lives all across the region.
Sulaiman Dango from the University of KwaZulu-Natal. Yeah, first of all, it's probably the most moving film I saw in my entire life. We hear about what's happening in Palestine, we see videos, but there's something that you don't actually expect to see this type of conduct on the part of the Israelis. And here it's real life, it's not made up. And I think a number of things I can think about. Well, first of all, is the bureaucracy. You see, the Red Crescent had to go through so much of bureaucracy, and they were delayed intentionally to frustrate them. And this is what we see occurring on a daily basis at a checkpoint. It's purely to frustrate the Palestinians. And then you see what goes on inside the Red Crescent, all the trauma that actually goes on a daily basis, trying to save people's lives.
Hi, my name is Alan Lang, and for my day job, I work for a nonprofit, but I also daily work with, weekly, whenever they have events, the South African Palestine Movement Youth Committee, which is a part of the South African. As many people likely experienced, it was very, very powerful. I'm also speaking from someone, I was a paramedic in the US. So to give a little bit background about myself, I'm American, but I've lived in Durban for a few years. My husband is South African. I worked in the US as a paramedic and also as a first aid responder. So it was really, really, I cried multiple times because I thought of so much, not only the voice of Hind Rajab, but the humanitarian aid workers who were there, the ambulance people who were killed, so it is still very raw and emotional and shaky for me, but it was definitely very, very, very powerful. Art is so powerful and very, very critical because it humanizes so many things. It connects us in so many different ways. So in many instances, as a part of a movement, art is one of the most critical things that can be shown and that can be displayed, and it's important for people to pay attention to and to witness not only the real footage that happened, but the way it is displayed in this movie and in this type of art as well.
My name is Shabnam Pelesa Mohammed, and I am in the coordinating team for Palestinian House. It's a human rights center in Durban, South Africa, the first of its kind. And what we're doing here today, in collaboration with the Islamic Medical Association South Africa, Durban, is hosting a screening of a powerful and transformative docudrama called The Voice of Hind Rajab. It's a powerful film that tells the story of the Red Crescent emergency workers who tried to rescue 5-year-old Hind, who was trapped in a vehicle which was fired on by the Israeli occupation forces. As many of us know, this child was martyred. She did not survive apartheid Israel's onslaught and genocide. And this film traces the desperation of the rescue team that is trying to get to her. But I think more importantly for me, hearing her voice in this film, calmer than any of us would be in those circumstances, begging for the rescue team to come and get her, is something that doesn't leave a dry eye in the house of anyone watching this film.
I'm Sanam and I'm from Durban. I'm an actress and a writer and also in film production. I think it was an incredibly difficult watch, but obviously it was incredibly powerful as well, and I think an incredibly necessary film to make, especially with everything that's happening and what we know is happening in Gaza. And to be in the film industry and to see a film made with such respect for the victims as well, I think, because there was nothing that was created, I think, for shock value. I think it was very respectfully done in the sense that the focus was on, you know, the aid workers and their experience and their interaction with the victims instead of any kind of bloodshed or anything like that. And I think that was it was really tastefully and respectfully done, but at the same time you felt the emotion, you felt the reality of the situation, and I think it's really powerful as artists and as creatives and as filmmakers to contribute to a space where these kinds of stories can be told.
Kate Goulding. Actor, writer, I do legal transcription at the moment, musician. I think it was an incredibly well done movie. Like, it was so well shot, well acted, well put together. And I think it's important to watch because it humanizes the story. Like, we get so used to seeing pictures and all of that, but this is the first time you're actually getting to know the people that are actually affected by the struggle. And it's a good reminder that not just what's going on there, but worldwide. Like, we don't have to look far to see our own issues, to see our own children being killed and stuff. And it's an important thing to actually remember the humans that are involved in the struggle.
I'm Nanda Subin, political cartoonist. This was the most tormenting movie I've ever seen in my life. It needs to be seen by the rest of the world so they can see what's happening in Palestine. Because we just caught a glimpse of it. Can you imagine the other stories? It should be shown at the Academy Awards, so it can be shown to a larger audience, and people can see what is happening. I was devastated. It's the most tormenting movie I've ever seen.
My name is Mustafa Darsot. I'm from Durban. I'm a community activist in the pursuit of social justice. Well, to be honest, this is the second time I've seen it, and I must say it's heartbreaking, it's moving, it's a tearjerker, it's a must for everyone to see, to learn the truth about what this poor 6-year-old child went through, the hell that she went through in the final moments of her life.
I am Yassin Mohammed, very concerned citizen regarding the philosophy of the Palestine people. In terms of the movie that we just seen, it is heartbreaking that despite all the challenges and the atrocities that green light has been come through, and for them to still go ahead and shoot an innocent child. I very closely embodied myself with this movie because 12 days ago, I just lost my 10-month-old grandchild. A helpless child that couldn't cope with the ills of health. And here we have all types of innocent children that have every feel in the mind, was able to communicate till the 11th hour, and yet they still go ahead and they destroy innocent life. My quotation is always that we spend millions of dollars or rands to save a life, and then we use the same amount of money to destroy a life.
Palestine, rest in peace to the women and children in paradise. Palestine, they cut off the water, food, but we never see spirit like.